Hey everyone, thanks so much for tuning in. In this video we're going to take a look at the new Zero Tolerance 0609, and before you hear we have the full lineup from the SHOT Show 2018 debuts from Zero Tolerance. So we've got the 0393, we've got the 0462, and now we have the 0609 or 0609. So the last one to come out, and we'll go through the specs, overall impressions, and details, but while I've got them out quickly, might as well do a size comparison. So, you know, of the new offerings, I do have to say that my favorite is probably the 0462, since I'm a huge fan of Persians. I like Dmitry Sinkovich's designs, and I like larger knives, so this one's my favorite. But the 0609, the last one to come out, I think is going to by far outsell these other two here, simply because of the size. You know, smaller knives sell more. I think the 0450, the numbers are all jumbled now, but you know, one of the other Dmitry Sinkovich designs, no, the 450, yeah, this 450, I think that one is the best-selling ZT since it came out. So this one's going to follow suit. Again, people like smaller knives. You know, it's not the knife that you have, it's the knife that you carry, and the smaller they are for most people, the easier they are to carry. So even though this one's my favorite, I think this one's going to outsell it by quite a bit. So let's move these two out of the way, and let me show you guys the original that it was based on, and that was the 0606 carbon fiber. And this was a factory custom done in collaboration with obviously RJ Martin, who's the designer on both, but then his son Matthew Martin produced all of the pivots that were used in the 0606 carbon fiber here. So as you can see, you know, it's absolutely smaller, it is lighter, and it is certainly less expensive, and you know, that's what people have been asking for. You know, we want things that are easier to carry, we want things that are less expensive. You know, the same thing when they did the 0393, not lighter necessarily, but certainly less expensive. And then when they did the, you know, the upgrade here from the 460 to the 462, better steel, nicer pivots. So, you know, again, really focusing on that consumer feedback, and you know, certainly taking it to heart and producing what people are asking for is really cool. Now, kind of as another fun aside, I have the CT200 right here, and this is a beast of a knife. So this is what we might consider old school ZT now, and here's kind of the new school. So anyways, move that one out of the way. And then one last size comparison, we have the Kershaw Dividend. As you guys can see, they're fairly close in size. You actually get more blade on the 0609. The handles are pretty much the exact same length. So while we're looking at these two specs, blade length is 3.4 inches. Handle length is 4.25. Overall is about 7.4 inches. Now the blade thickness is 0.121 inches. So by way of comparison, the Zero Tolerance, the Spyderco Para 2 is 0.14, and then the thickness behind the edge, which I pre-measured, comes in at 0.027 inches, and again the Para 2 is 0.025, so fairly thin blade stock. Obviously it's going to slice fairly well. Whoops, and here we are next to the Dividend, so you know, certainly quite a few comparable things to look at there. Anyways, overall impressions, man, it's really well executed. I think they did a fantastic job. Certainly some things that I like, perhaps over even like the 460 here. I think the ergonomics are very, very good. Even though they've got these pronounced finger trails, it fits in the hand very well. CPM 20 CV blade steel is a really nice upgrade over S35 VN. And then the price, they kept it fairly reasonable at $220. So if you're looking for a knife in this size range, again, there's not really that many that offered this much value. So yeah, tip up right hand, left hand carry, titanium frame lock, runs on KVT. We'll talk about the pivot in a minute. But certainly a really good looking design from designer RJ Martin. All right, so yeah, I mean, it's again, it's going to outsell, you know, most of the other models, certainly the larger ones that came out this year, and it carries through kind of the, I don't know, the essence. Obviously the 06 here is over the top, anodizing, carbon fiber inlay, you know, 3D milled pocket clip, but it still has the same feel. The action feels the same. They both have really good ergonomics, so yeah, I mean, it's, you know, it's a scaled down version without losing anything in the process. Some knives, when they scale it down, you kind of lose the way it feels or doesn't feel as nice, but this one was really well done. So I mean, it helps when you're starting with such a large knife to begin with, obviously. So anyways, let's look at it in a little more detail. There's that machine satin finish with stonewash flats. Looks really nice. Here we have the, you know, the markings, designer, serial number, blade steel, all that good stuff. Some jimping up top. As you can see, it's kind of curves up a little bit. Makes this one, you know, again, I think the ergos are really comfortable, but even more so this cutout here in the blade. You know, with my hand size, extra large glove, this is how I typically hold the knife, and this is certainly the most comfortable position for me. Here's the flipper tab. You know, no jimping behind the flipper tab, which I certainly appreciate. Texturizing here makes this one, you know, really easy to use. Certainly a little bit easier for my hand size than like the 460 here. So action is very, very good. So yeah, really good stuff. All right. So let's talk about the pivot here. So the pivot, I think this is going to be, you know, certainly one of the things that makes the knife interesting, but also one of the areas of contention. This is called the see-through pivot. Before it was called the pivotless pivot. You know, it's an interesting, you know, pivot system. I think it's what attracts people to RJ Martin's knives in general. Or one of the things that, you know, make an RJ Martin an RJ Martin. So of course they had to incorporate it into one of his designs. Now there is a special tool that's required to service this knife, and it's not included with the knife. It is coming out soon. It's going to be about $16 street price. So you know, that's one consideration. Now the other here, as you guys can see, these are not the same size, and so the pivot tool for the 0609 will not work on the 0606. So different sizes. You know, as far as, you know, whether or not you know, that's going to keep you from buying it, that's totally your call. I only take down knives as I need to. This one is centered, lockup is perfect, it's smooth, so I have no reason to need to take it down right now. I will get the tool. I think $16 is fairly reasonable, but you know, again, that's your choice. You know, whether you buy the tool or you buy the knife, I really don't care. Obviously I liked it enough to buy it, so that's my call. Anyway, so here's the handle. It's not really contoured, but the various steps in the titanium and the milling certainly gives it a very comfortable feel in the hand. So, and again, these pronounced finger choils here, I find them very, very comfortable in my hands. So, you know, again, works fairly well. Pocket clip left and right, tip up carry. So a little bit of branding, fairly subtle on the pocket clip, stainless steel lock insert, 2 standoffs, open construction. I mean, overall it's really, really good. So here's the lockup, fairly early, maybe 25% on this one, and again, it's completely solid. There's no tweaking that needs to occur on my end. Centering is spot on, so action, very smooth. Now the blade's not super heavy, so you're not going to get, like, you know, that drop down action of some of the other knives that have much larger, heavier blades like the 462. But it's, you know, it's in line with a knife this size. So anyways, I mean, it's really well done. The blade doesn't come anywhere near the back of the handle. You can't get anywhere close to it. So yeah, I mean, that's that's pretty much this knife in a nutshell. I've carried it for a couple days now. I've really enjoyed it. I think it's a great size, like the blade thickness. It's just an all-around everyday carry piece. So, you know, again, this video is going up a little late. I'm sure most of you guys have already bought or pre-ordered or have your shipping presently, but yeah, it's definitely going to sell well for ZT, you know, over some of the larger knives here. So anyways, that is the 0609. Now, again, these were the 3 for 2018 so far. I'm guessing they'll probably have some more releases coming up at, you know, Blade Show, as far as kind of the second half of the year. Perhaps some, you know, more factory customs or limited editions. That remains to be seen. We're still waiting on the ZT0427. That's another Sinkovich design. I don't know when or how that one's coming, but anyways, so more good stuff to come. Thanks for watching, guys. If you got one, let me know what you think. If you have different hand sizes, you know, again, I wear an extra large glove. You know, put your hand size and how the knife feels in your hands in the comments, so that other people browsing through days or weeks or years to follow have some more information to work with. So, as always, thanks for watching. You can follow me on Instagram also under EpicSnuggleBunny, and a lot more videos to come. I need to get those done sooner rather than later, so take care.